Hi there guys, I hope you're well. Welcome back to my YouTube channel called Blast and the Past. After our short break, and today I would like to do a special review of a DVD edition of this film, The Ghost Ship from 2002. And actually it will be a very special review because there is no script, so I'll just, I'll play it by ear, I'll talk spontaneously, because I don't think that this film is worth any special review, and it's only a DVD release, which is pretty decent anyway. So let's start with a short unboxing, shall we? Alright, so this is a front cover. So actually it looks pretty nice, and here we have, it's like a snap case, I think. Right, the film. Of course, it's not a brand new copy, it's a used one. I bought it on sale for, I don't know, less than £1, so I think it was worth the price of admission. But let's get something straight. So generally, I'm not a fan of horror films. They are not my cup of tea, and I hate slashers even more. But this one, I've heard a couple of positive comments and reviews about this one, so I wanted to check it. Actually, I've been meaning to watch it for a very long time. I remember in a old PlayStation magazine they had a DVD corner because the PlayStation 2 was the thing, and it was a DVD player, so it could play DVD discs and films, so that was a novelty. And they had the DVD corner, and there was a review of this one, not particularly I would say encouraging to watching this film, but in that review they mentioned the opening sequence, which is really thrilling and exciting, but I'm afraid that this is the best part of the whole film. There's even a flashback in which they repeat the whole sequence, so they must have been very proud of it. And without any spoilers, so it has to do with a cable on a ship, and it's like a bloodbath. It's a massacre. Let me put it this way. Regarding the packaging, by the way, I love these snap cases ones because I think that's what they're called, like, because usually it means at least a decent picture quality, if not better than that. And in this case, it's also like that. Regarding the plot itself, so maybe I'll just read this short description, which we have on the back cover of the film. A routine salvage operation turns into a hellish nightmare for Murphy, Gabriel Byrne and his crew, Juliana Margulies, Ron Eldad and Isaiah Washington. Probably I've butchered those names, haven't I? Shockingly gory and chilling events unfold on board an abandoned luxury liner as the team come face to face with unimaginable terror. From the producer of House on Haunted Hill and 13 Ghosts, Ghost Ship is packed with special effects and non-stop fright, leading to a heart-stoppingly terrifying climax. And we've got some quotes with some comments. Thumpingly scary from the Mail on Sunday, and will scare you shipless, that's a nice one, from the Daily Star. Okay, so without further ado, let's move on to my brief review, let's say, in big quotation marks, because it's not a review after all, just my opinion on the film. But first things first, maybe let's start on a positive note. So the picture quality, I know it's only a mere DVD release, but it's actually a pretty decent one. And I think that those old editions, like snap cases, the ones or in jewel cases as well, so there's something to it because they look like they were scanned straight from the film material, from the reel, I mean. And they look sometimes really, let's say, sharpish. Of course, the colors are washed out in comparison with any decent Blu-ray, but generally the picture is crisp in those releases, and the quality is more than serviceable on a not too big screen like 47 inches for example. And this one actually it looks pretty nice as well, so I was pleasantly surprised, but to be honest I had been expecting this kind of quality, so that wasn't a letdown. I think it was worth the price, at least quality wise. And in terms of the plot itself and the picture itself, I mean the motion picture, the film, okay, what to start with? So I would say unfortunately that there is not too much going on in this film. So I watched it in two parts, two installments at night, and after the first 45 minutes, so really apart from the opening sequence there was really not too much going on, and I was surprised. So after they accepted a strange assignment, they started wandering around this abandoned ship, or seemingly abandoned, and looking for treasure, for something to salvage, and they found something, but not what they had been expecting to find probably. And it turns out that there are some guests also on this ship, without going into too many details. And basically, so I was hoping that maybe in the next 45 minutes, because it's a fairly short film, something else would happen, but it was mostly the same thing. And actually, when you read some trivia about this film, it turns out that it was supposed to be, or it was supposed to have been a completely different picture. So more like The Shining, so psychological thriller, and they converted it into a straightforward horror slash slasher. Right, so gory, a lot of gore, graphic violence in the opening scene, and then there is nothing. So some psychological tricks, like in The Shining. Of course, that's a little bit too stretched of a comparison if you compare this to The Shining, because it's well, The Shining generally is a milestone, but in comparison with this one, so even like a good, decent horror is like Citizen Kane. Because it's a watchable film, but nothing special, nothing to write home about. So like I said, I'm not a fan of this particular genre, but I gave it a go. I decided to give it a whirl, and quite rightfully so, because I've been waiting for how long? 20 years. I've just never got around to watching it. And I had an opportunity. I decided to buy it on sale, come on, less than £1, so I think it was worth the price of admission. The quality was fine. The quality of sound was okay too. And actually, in terms of the soundtrack, so there was at the beginning of the film, in the very opening sequence, so there was a very nice melody there, a very nice composition, and it fit the narrative very well. But at the end, so there is some heavy rock music which sticks out like a sore thumb. Really, what the heck was that? I have no idea. Anyhow, so like I would say, so probably it's recommended for the fans of the genre and the fans of the genre only. I've read many positive comments and opinions, short reviews, brief comments about this film on the IMDb website. People were praising it, that actually it plays with the formula a little bit, maybe, but somehow I failed to see that playing with the formula. And it was more leaning towards the psychological thriller like it was in the original script and the idea. And the main actress from this film, so Ms. Juliana Margulies, I'm butchering it again, apologies. So she said that she had signed up for this film because the script was different, and they changed it, but she was contractually obliged to partake in the film. So she had no other choice, but ever since she's been trashing it in all kinds of media, the film. So maybe it's not that bad, and the special effects are quite decent, although it's a 20-year-old film. And you can still see the budget, the location. It's filmed on this big liner, this cruise ship. So it's not the worst horror film ever. But if somebody was expecting something spectacular, so I think that they are in for a quite a negative surprise, like maybe I was. As far as I remember, so in that video film section, that DVD corner in the magazine, it was a hard copy, printed one, so they gave it maybe 5+. And they had this section with the best scenes from the film, and of course they have mentioned this one, the beginning of the film, the opening sequence with this cable, and it's really one big mess. And probably it will appeal to the fans of the genre, especially those gory films, because it's very graphic. And you should read some trivia about it. I don't want to go into this spoiler area, but there is a funny explanation that, or rather justification, why they decided to go with this split and not the other split, let's say. Let me put it this way, in a very cryptic manner. Anyhow, so I'm pretty satisfied with the purchase because of the price, because I finally seen this film. It was just about time, and I can tick it off my bucket list, let's say, if it had ever been there in the first place. And it's good to have this in your collection, like generally, so please support physical media, because you will always have those discs on your shelf, so they are always there, they will never disappear, maybe apart from this infamous disc rot, which, thank God, as far as I'm concerned, has never happened to me. I hope so. I haven't checked my collection in a long time, especially the older titles. But generally, on streaming platforms, so something today you have the whole choice, and tomorrow 20% of it could disappear, of course, hypothetically speaking. So today there is a film which you want to watch, and tomorrow it could be gone. So it's not the case with physical media, so please support it. Even if you buy second-hand films, it's still good to have them, because you have a physical copy, not a digital one, which is very soulless, yes, and lifeless. I won't be giving any particular grade to this film, any particular mark, because To be honest, I haven't prepared anything for this review, so it's a very spontaneous, as you can clearly see, as you've noticed already. There is no script, so I've just mentioned some bullet points. What struck me as odd, what struck me as worth mentioning. It's just one big let's play it by ear, spur of the moment scenario. Let me put it this way. So is it worth seeing for the fans of the genre? Yes. Maybe it's not a remake of some old ghost ship film, but it's loosely based on it, as far as I know. But maybe I'm wrong about it. Because there was in the 90s, apologies, in the 80s there was a film called Ghost Ship. So is it worth watching? Yes, for the fans of the genre, definitely. For or other cinema goers, let's say, who watch films also at their own home theaters, maybe just to see it once. But if you don't like gory things, if you don't like graphic violence, if you are against brutality in films, so maybe you should skip this one, or rather definitely. But like I said, if you skip the opening scenes, there's not too much going on. It's not very gross, it's not even very scary. What is worth mentioning is that there is a little twist in the middle of the film and then at the end, but also regarding the credit roll, so that music at the end, so it's like I've said, it sticks out like a sore thumb, especially that it's some heavy rock music. I'm not saying that it's a bad piece, that's like a bad composition, but generally, why at the end, why not in the middle when maybe there was something else going on. But like I said, so there's not too much action, not too much suspense in this film, so you just watch it and you forget about it. It's pretty forgettable. Nothing memorable in this motion picture apart from the very first sequence, which I think that it's been even given a distinction in some rankings, like one of the best opening sequences ever, and I could agree with that. It is shocking, it is violent, it is surprising, no holds barred, everything goes, but you could just as well turn this film off after that. But I have respect for films, so I watch them. If I start them, I watch them till the very end, till the very credit roll, and that's it. So thank you very much for devoting those a couple of minutes to my very spontaneous review without too much editing. I hope we'll see about that. And please remember, support physical media because it's very important, especially in the current modern times of streaming platforms. Thank you very much for your attention, and until the next time, hopefully.